Here is the back of my pillow with the zipper in it. Got the head of the zipper over here. What I need to remember to do is pull that zipper pull into the middle. If I leave it out at the end and I sew my back on, I've just sewn a zipper in the back that has no way to open. So remember to pull your pull to about the middle. And I want to take my top piece, I'm going to take the front of my pillow, and I'm going to put them face to face. What I want to do is tape this shut so that it doesn't push apart while I'm sewing my pieces together. So I'm going to take some of my Perfect Stick tape here and just take a piece, and I'm going to run it along here, and it's just holding that zipper closed. And then I'm going to lay my zipper, lay my top piece face down with the zipper in about the middle of my word joy. And as you know, I could take a tape measure and measure all of this, but you can do that if you'd like. Lovely. I'm going to put a second piece of tape just inside of here. This will keep the zipper from splitting this way, but I also want it not to split like that as I go along. So I'm going to take one more piece of tape, and I'm going to be just inside that seam line. And I lay this right on here. And now I'm going to sew around using a 1/2 inch seam allowance around the edge of my pillow, all the way around. And I can take just a couple pins and stick them in. I don't use real many because it's a nice flat surface. It's not going to wrinkle or buckle much because I have stabilizer on the back, and I've got 2 layers of the fat quarter on the other side of the pillow. So I'm just going to stick those in there. And off to the sewing machine. I've got a little bit off this side because I started with a fat quarter. I could have cut it to 16 inches. I, as you've probably noticed by now, like to save time. And if I cut both pieces to size, then I have to be real careful about how I lay them out, that I've got the right amount of seam allowance on each side. This way, by leaving them just a little bit bigger all the way around, I can just follow the edge of the upper pillow, which was cut to size already. So I'm going to just stitch along that edge as I go around my pillow. The other thing I do on a pillow, I typically start and sew from the edge, didn't quite get that on camera, from the edge up here all the way down and off this edge down here, and then I'll come this way from the edge and go all the way across and off the other edge. And then when I'm done, I'm going to go back and trim this off. So here we go to the sewing machine. Remember how I said I was going to sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around? Actually, I'm going to use the edge of my regular foot and set my needle to the left. Again, this is a pillow. It's not like I'm putting pieced stars together in a quilt. It's easy to see. I've got an easy mark, and if it's 1/8 of an inch smaller, it really doesn't matter. So I'm just sewing all the way around my pillow. A pretty straight line. Notice how I sewed right over that zipper. I probably should have slowed down a little bit, but I didn't, and nothing happened. And if you have a metal zipper, do not sew over metal teeth. You will have a big problem. And I'm off this edge. Gonna cut. Flip over to this side. And here you're gonna see my, oops, I cut my Shapeflex stabilizer just a smidge small. So I'm going to fix that in a really technical way. I'm going to just shorten this seam allowance by just a smidge. And again, it really isn't going to make a difference. Here I'm just visually lining up the bottom of the word home, and I'm catching that edge of the Shapeflex stabilizer. I know this might drive some of you crazy if you are a total perfectionist. You probably won't like my techniques, But I will tell you that if there's something that I'm doing that's changing a little bit, like using the edge of my foot instead of a true 1/2 inch, I'll let you know so you can do it your way and have it be absolutely beautifully perfect. Mine, oh, my bobbin is almost empty. Of course it is. Doesn't that just happen to all of us? Here I am back with a new bobbin, and yes, it is green. And oh, you know what? That doesn't bother me at all. You will never see that thread on the inside, but if it makes you happy, go ahead and put a red bobbin in, or gray. I'm going to just sew slow across the zipper. And down along that edge, off the edge there. And back down. And away I go. Oh, by the way, you didn't see me sew over that pin. You really shouldn't do that. Again, you've heard me say, do as I say. I try to remember to do it the way I should, but sometimes I forget. All right, that's the end of my pillow. Now I just take it over to the cutting table. I'm going to just trim along these edges, trim the excess off, and I'm going to flip the whole thing right side out through the zipper hole. The pillow has been trimmed on both sides. It's ready to flip. So I'm just going to open the zipper, and then I'm going to push my corners out. And I have this handy dandy precision turning tool. It has a really nice blunt end, so I can go in and push my corners out nicely without the tip of the tool pushing through my project. So I'm just going to do the other 4 corners. And then I'm going to press. And there's a little bit of a trick to pressing the pillow so that it turns out really nice. And I'll show you that as soon as I get my last points turned here. We're all set. So here's my pillow. And I'm going to grab my iron. And when I press, what I'm going to do is open this seam a little bit. I'm just going to use the tip of my iron, and I'm going to just separate the front fabric from the back. Just push that open a little ways. It will crease here a little bit, but that doesn't make a difference. I'm then going to come back, and I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm going to roll this out. And because I pressed that open already, it'll give me a really nice press, a really nice even front and back once I get that stretched out. If your hands are a little dry, which mine are, I'll take just a little bit of Best Press or water, get my fingers wet, and that allows me to just roll that edge a little bit. And that brings up a really nice crisp edge, and then I'm pressing that. And you get a really nice press where you don't see the back on the front fabric rolling to the back, and on the front you don't see the back fabric. So I'm going to go all the way around my pillow doing that. So here's our pillow done. The front is pressed, the back is pressed. I'm going to open my pillow, just put in my form. The nice thing about putting zippers in pillows is that you only have to own one pillow, and you can have 20 different pillow covers for different seasons, and you can store them flat, and you don't have all these pillows that you're trying to store. Zip it shut. And, well, let's try to get a good shot of it. There you go. Pillow is together, zipper in the back. Hope you enjoyed the lesson.